This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Dak Prescott wants out of the Dallas Cowboys. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that red button down below. The first story is that Dak Prescott's new deal with the Dallas Cowboys seems to not likely happen, and because of that, Dak Prescott wants out. As the NFL closes in on the start of the regular season, the Cowboys and quarterback Dak Prescott remain in a stalemate over contract extensions. Talks have been going on for months, and the sides still haven't reached a deal. These same parties took at least 2 years before reaching an agreement on Prescott's second contract. At this point, the ball is in Prescott's court, and it feels like he's ready to hold it all the way to free agency. Asked earlier this week after the Cowboys and receiver ceedee reached an extension and if he was next, Prescott told reporters, "Not really sure, not my focus anymore. To be honest with you, told you guys, really can't say ever was my focus. It's about making myself and this team better. Getting us in the best position and most confident position to go up to Cleveland and start the season off with a win." Prescott is leaving the negotiations up to his agent, Todd France, and Cowboys brass. Maybe some things will get done in the coming days or weeks. After all, it only takes one phone call for things to change. But the question now becomes, why would Prescott sign an extension? From a business standpoint, his best play is to reach free agency and see what his true market value is. Prescott, who is entering the final year of a 4-year, $160 million contract extension he signed prior to the 2021 season, has no trade, no tag clauses. In a quarterback-hungry industry such as the NFL, there is no greater premium than a franchise quarterback on the open market. Yes, Prescott is unquestionably a franchise quarterback, even with his lack of playoff success. This is a quarterback who's coming off a career year in 2023, finishing runner-up in the MVP race, where he threw 4,516 yards and led the league in completions and touchdown passes. What is worth in the open market? It could be $60 million or more. Who knows? The only thing for certain is that the baseline salary for Prescott should be $55 million annually, which is in line with the top paid quarterbacks, including Cincinnati Joe Burrow, Jacksonville's Trevor Lawrence, and Green Bay's Jordan Love. Prescott has made it clear throughout the offseason that going to free agency is not something he feared. There's plenty of high-profile quarterbacks who have departed their original franchise, ranging from Tom Brady to Peyton Manning to Drew Brees and to Joe Montana. The list goes on, and Prescott reiterated this week that he doesn't need a deal done before the season. "I don't need it, no, I don't." Asked if he'd deal like a done before the season, Prescott said, "I think it says a lot, or if it isn't, but however, it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest with you." Owner Jerry Jones explained the organization's mindset in terms of extension, saying he had to weigh the consequences of such a deal. Dak's situation right now, from my mirror, has more to do with our situation than it does with the merits of Dak Prescott being the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, Jones said. Read that all into what you will. At the end of the day, maybe the two sides can come together and reach an agreement if it doesn't seem likely at this point. But Katie Drummond of USA Today argued on Friday, August 30, that Prescott shouldn't re-sign with the Dallas Cowboys. He said even if Prescott intends to remain with the Dallas Cowboys organization, why would he not maximize his value, Drummond posted. The 2025 free agent market is absolutely barren unless Russell Wilson or Justin Fields rejuvenates their stock to a tremendous level this year. The bidding war for Prescott would be absolutely insane, regardless of what his detractors think about it. So it definitely does see that Prescott definitely has a lot of value, as projected value, like we mentioned, around that $55 to $60 million range, and that could definitely be a very lucrative business for these other franchises. Dallas Cowboys fans are furious Dallas let promising rookie get away during roster cuts. The Dallas Cowboys have one of the most talented rosters in the NFL. Having to trim their roster from 90 players to 53 before Tuesday's deadline, they were always going to part ways with players who would otherwise waltz onto another 53-man roster around the league. Some of the Cowboys' toughest cuts include running back Royce Freeman, wide receiver Jalen Cooper, linebacker Willie Harvey Jr., and undrafted rookie Julius Wood, who fell victim to Dallas' stacked safety room. While Dallas was able to sign Cooper and Harvey to the practice squad, Freeman is still braving the unemployed waters. Wood, on the other hand, was claimed by the Titans, so the Cowboys let arguably their most promising undrafted player get away. In terms of the 2024 draft class, Dallas bucked a long-standing trend. Each of their first 6 picks made the initial 53. Their 7th pick, offensive lineman Nathan Thomas, was placed on IR with a designation to return. However, their 8th and final pick, DT Justin Rogers, did not make the team and is now gone for good after he was claimed on waivers. Cowboys fans were befuddled when Rogers failed to make the preliminary 53. Confusion quickly turned to sweating profusely after Rogers wasn't listed on the initial waiver practice squad signings. Before long, it was reported that the Auburn product signed to the Bengals practice squad. Rogers is the first Cowboy draft pick to be waived before the season since 2019, and it's shocking considering that there's been a big emphasis on Dallas in keeping their draft picks. As far as late round picks go, Rogers flashed more talent than most Cowboys nose tackles in recent memory. The list includes 2022 5th round pick John Ridgway 2021, 6th round pick Quinton Bohanna, and 2020 3rd round pick Neville Gallimore. Rogers was the perfect player to stash on the practice squad and develop under veterans Linval Joseph and Jordan Phillips. He needs to work on shedding blocks, but as far as plugging drains and muddying the 8 gaps to help slow the run, the 6'3", 322-pound lineman could have stepped into the NT rotation as soon as next season. He even deflected a pass in preseason that got intercepted. Like Julius Wood, losing Rogers isn't the end of the world in the grand scheme. However, the fact Rogers shows promise that has murky outlook beyond this season makes his departure extremely look boneheaded. The third story is that the Dallas Cowboys are looking at some other free agents and looking to sign them as soon as possible. The first being CB Caleb Farley, who was the 22nd overall pick in the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft by the Tennessee Titans. He was expected to be a top 10 talent but fell due to concerns over his multiple injuries and back problems throughout his collegiate career. Those injuries carried over to his professional career and ultimately leading to his release. D-Key also Siaka Ika. Siaka Ika was a 98th overall pick in the 3rd round of the 2023 NFL Draft by the Cleveland Browns, and the former LSU and Baylor defensive tackle unfortunately got caught in a numbers game in Cleveland and is now a free agent. At 6'3", 335 pounds, he's an intriguing young DT for a team like the Cowboys who are looking to bulk up the interior of the defensive line. The next is also wide receiver Corey Davis. Now, Corey Davis has had an up and down career since being drafted 5th overall in the 27 NFL Draft by the Tennessee Titans. In a run-heavy system during his 4 years in Tennessee and then 2 seasons in New York with the Jets, he unfortunately never eclipsed a 1,000-yard receiving mark in his career. Even still, he could be a 9th step player. Here's a quick word from our sponsor, BetUS, from Michael Vick.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
Now, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, they added edge rusher Marshawn Kneeland in the NFL Draft after having an excellent training camp and preseason. Kneeland will be the first sub behind DeMarcus Lawrence and also All-Pro Micah Parsons. The Cowboys did bring in veteran Carl Lawson, who they initially cut but brought back to the practice squad. However, Dallas could still use some more juice coming off the edge. When looking at free agent market, there's an intriguing name that the Cowboys should consider at edge rusher, and that's Yannick Ngakoue. A former 3rd round pick in 2016, Ngakoue spent 4 years with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he hit his peak in 2017, where he was named to the Pro Bowl after missing 12 sacks and also the NFL with 6 forced fumbles. After demanding a trade, Ngakoue was sent to the Minnesota Vikings in August 2020. 2 months later, he was traded to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Yannick would play in 15 games between the two teams and record 8 sacks, and Giannis was also spending the 2021 campaign with the Las Vegas Raiders and produced 10 sacks and started all 17 games. A year later, with the Indianapolis Colts, Ngakoue put up 9.5 more sacks in 15 games, and in 2023, we also saw a little bit more where he was with the Chicago Bears, where he started 13 games and racked up 4 sacks before suffering a broken ankle. So despite the recent bouncing around the league, Ngakoue still has what it takes to be a valuable piece to a rotation as he goes into the 9th year. Although he's not a great run defender, Ngakoue can still get after the quarterback. Last season was the first when he didn't record at least 8 sacks. If the Cowboys brought him in, he could fill that role that Dante Fowler had in Dallas the previous 2 seasons, where he played a little over 300 snaps per year, on average had 10 total sacks. No team can have enough pass rushers in today's NFL. Ngakoue is just the type of player that organizations would like to be available with this season approaching. But speaking of Dalvin Cook, his eyes returned to form on Cowboys practice squad. Because in 2022, Dalvin Cook ran 1,173 yards and 8 touchdowns for the Minnesota Vikings, and was also named to the Pro Bowl for the 4th straight season. Last year with the New York Jets, he ran 214 yards on 67 carries with no touchdowns, and the newest member of the Dallas Cowboys practice squad said he is more than his former than latter. I got it, Cook said after his first practice with the Cowboys. It's right here. Cook would not label his year with the Jets as a disappointment. He signed during training camp after spending a good part of the offseason recovering from shoulder surgery. He says he believes a large portion of his numbers failing had to do with the same reason why the Jets struggled as a whole: the torn Achilles suffered by quarterback Aaron Rodgers. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and shout out again to BetUS for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you go check them out. The link will be in the description and also in the pinned comment down below. But thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Peace.